Hi everyone, I'm Wendy, and today I'm showing you what I've been cooking lately with my CSA produce. I'll start by showing you what I got in my box this week and what I made with it. I'm lucky to have access to a CSA for 36 weeks out of the year, so we get a wide variety of produce throughout the seasons. In this week's box, we got some red onions with their green tops, a couple bunches of purple broccolini, some rainbow chard, 2 bunches of basil, which is one of my favorites, and we also got our first zucchini and summer squash of the year. We got some beautiful beets along with their leafy tops, which are so sweet and delicious. And that's one of the perks of getting local produce. You get the whole plant, whereas sometimes when you buy things like beets at the store, their tops have been removed. Finally, we got tons of lettuce. So we got a lot of variety this week to make some delicious whole food plant-based meals. I love the time of year when we get basil, so I'll start there. Normally, I try to wash all of my produce right away, but I find that my basil keeps better if I don't wash it until I'm ready to use it. And I store it as you would a bouquet of flowers in some water. This way, it'll stay nice and fresh until you're ready to use it. And this week, we used it to make a creamy basil pasta. We have some whole wheat spaghetti pasta cooking up on the stove, and next to that is a creamy white sauce made out of white beans, a few cashews, and some spices. I'll include the recipe for what we did in a blog post that I'll link in the details below the video. With the basil, I simply blended that up in a food processor with a splash of lemon juice, some applesauce, and just enough water to get it to blend. Then I stirred the basil into the creamy white sauce, and when the pasta was done cooking, I added that directly into the sauce as well. This meal was really simple and easy to make, and pasta is always such a comforting meal. The basil gives it a delicious fresh taste, and I also topped it with a little bit of homemade vegan Parmesan. Next up, I'll show you what I did with the beets. I tried out a Beetroot Halwa recipe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I've been wanting to try it for a while. This recipe comes from the Plant-Based Los Angeles blog, which I'll also put a link to below the video. The recipe uses a few simple ingredients, but the star of the dish is the shredded beets. Of course, beets are sweet on their own, but this dish is even sweeter with the addition of dates. It also has a little bit of plant milk, and you can add some nuts. I didn't add as many nuts and dates as the recipe called for, and it was still super sweet, rich, and decadent. My mom and I really enjoyed this sweet treat. And then I forgot to take a picture of it, but we also sliced up the beet greens and sauteed them with some of the purple onion. I wish I had taken a picture because when you cook beet greens, the pink color comes out of it and it turned the onions an even more vibrant purple pink color. On another day, we did the same thing with the rainbow chard. We also like to add these greens to soups and stews, but a simple water saute is a great side dish to any meal. Next, let's talk about this purple broccolini. One night for dinner, we had that along with rice and tofu. We chopped up the broccolini and steamed it on the stovetop. Along with that, we baked some crumbled tofu that we marinated in a sauce that was loosely based on Jane and Ann Esselstyn's teriyaki sauce from their Engine 2 cookbook. We made a few adjustments like using date syrup instead of maple syrup, only using about 1/3 of the amount of tamari that they call for, and we also added a few other seasonings. To pull the meal together, we started with a base of brown rice, added a layer of the steamed broccolini, then the baked tofu, and finally some slices of onion that we also roasted in the oven until they were nice and crispy. I'm just topping that with a little more sauce, and this meal was perfect. A little sweet, a little salty, and the roasted onions took it to another level. Then we didn't actually get to eating the yellow squash and zucchini that week. The next week we got even more zucchini and some more basil. So I made a really basic pesto with the basil, and we simply steamed the zucchini and yellow squash with some purple onion, and we mixed the pesto right in. We ate that one day on top of mashed potatoes and had it along with my chickpea patties. I'll include a link on screen here to the video where I shared this recipe, and my mom made this batch and she made them into little nugget-sized patties. The next day we spiralized some more of the zucchini and added that to some millet ramen noodles, and then we added the rest of the pesto in to use it up. Last but not least, we had all of that beautiful lettuce. I spend most evenings with my parents, and my mom always has side salads to go with dinner. But when we get lots of lettuce in the CSA, I also like to make big salads for my lunches. These are just a couple recent salads that I've made, and you can also see my pickled garlic scapes on top. We've been getting garlic scapes the last few weeks as well. These grow out of the top of the garlic plant in spring and early summer. Sometimes we just saute it and it has a nice mild garlicky flavor, but I also like to pickle it and put it on top of salads like this. And that's everything we did this week with our CSA produce. As always, I appreciate it when you give my videos a thumbs up and leave a comment below to let me know what you thought. If you're part of a CSA or you like to shop at your local farmer's market, let me know what great produce you're getting right now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.